What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods back with another 2022 NFL Draft Prospect Breakdown. And we're headed down to FAMU. We got Markquese Bell, defensive back out of Florida A&M. And this guy has taken an interesting journey as a very intriguing prospect in this upcoming NFL draft class. And, you know, again, we started this series to highlight some prospects at the FCS level that may not be getting the attention or shine that they ultimately deserve. And with Bell, he's had high expectations on him since the moment he came out of high school. Was an Under Armour All-American, 4-star, a top 3 player out of his state. And he goes to Maryland, and situations happen there which led him to transfer, winds up down at Florida A&M. He speaks about this in an interview with, I believe, the Draft Network, where he really wasn't sure where to go. His friend tells him that you need to go to an HBCU. He ultimately decides on FAMU and has been the best player on FAMU for arguably 2 seasons now, should have been three, but the MEAC decided not to play football due to the COVID season for the 2020 season at all, even in the spring. So he missed that year, decides to stick around and come back one more year, and it really paid off. When you look at his career at FAMU, was a first team all SWAC selection this year, was a third team FCS All American for the entire FCS, was also a first team all MEAC selection in 2019. And over his 2 seasons at FAMU, totaled over 150 tackles, 6 interceptions, had 5 forced fumbles, and 11 and a half tackles for loss. He led the MEAC in 2019 with 5 interceptions and had a dominant 2 years at Florida A&M. And a lot of people have been talking about Markquese Bell. A lot of people think that he potentially could be the first HBCU player off the board when it comes to this 2022 NFL draft class. A lot of people think he even could have been drafted last year and it has been cited by many different publications as arguably the best HBCU prospect coming out into the draft. And so looking at his combine performance, and this just recently happened, Markquese Bell really put on a show. Measured in at 6'2", 212 pounds, ran a 4.41 official 40-yard dash. That was seventh among all safeties at the NFL Combine. Had a 36 and a half vertical. That was fourth among all safeties, top five. Broad jump, a 10.3, which ended up being eighth among safeties. And out of the 6 DBs to do the 20-yard shuttle, he ran a 4.46 in that 20-yard shuttle. And a lot of people were talking about his fluidity too, through the ball drills, catching his hip, the way he's able to flip his hips, and he just looks smooth out there on the field. He's built like an athlete. He looks like an athlete, and that's going to be one of his biggest strengths. Is that Markquese Bell is an athlete, and that's what you're going to get if you ultimately decide to draft him in April. And so pulling up some of his highlights here and some of the things I wanted to break down on film. This is his 40-yard dash. Again, the official time was a little bit faster, but you can just see the guy can fly, and he's tall, he's long, and you love that in the DB. It was a 4.45 unofficial, went down to a 4.41 official after they adjusted the time. And so you're going to see here in this Jackson State game, the one of the biggest positives for me for Markquese Bell is his ability to really excel at blitzing. He's very aggressive. He has his eye on the ball, and he knows where he's going to go. He has that like almost like a predator mindset where he knows what he needs to attack, and he's going to get downfield and attack it at full speed. You're going to see here in this Jackson State play, he's going to come off the edge, and he's going to welcome Shador to college football and unblocked, and he's just going to go make the play. A huge play in the red zone. And you're going to see right here against South Florida, an FBS team. He had probably his best game of the year. Had over 10 tackles. Was the SWAC Player of the Week and was the Senior Bowl Player of the Week for his performance against South Florida. You're going to see him come right over the A gap, and he's going to come in, get through the line, and make the big play on the quarterback and get the sack on 3rd and 10. His aggressiveness makes him an excellent blitzer. He is going to get after the quarterback. He's going to find a way to get into the backfield and make a play. And you're going to see it again on some of these other highlights. And right here, this is just a good tackle. He's going to scrape by the blocker right there, and it's just him and this running back in open field. He has a good angle. This running back has to make a move to make a miss, and Markquese Bell breaks down and makes a solid open field tackle against a very athletic running back. You're going to see it again. See the pin pointed to him out there. He's going to read the play. He's very patient. He's going to use the speed to get around the blocker and make a solid open field tackle. That's another big positive for Markquese Bell right here is his ability to make the tackle when he breaks down and uses his patience. You're going to see him on the edge right here on your left. Number 5 coming in, he's going to attack the mesh point and get the quarterback for a big stop in the red zone against Central Florida. Here, another good tackle. You're going to see number 5, aggressive, comes up field, breaks down, gets the big play, forces to fumble. The when he is patient and uses good form tackling and brings the boom, he can force fumbles. Had 5 forced fumbles this season for Florida A&M. Him in the open field when he does what he's supposed to do is probably the best tackler in this. It was one of the best tacklers in the SWAC. You're going to see him. Yellow Dot is going to come right downfield, make the big play for the tackle. He is so aggressive. He has his eyes on the ball at all times, and he's going to fly downfield and make the play again. Yellow circle, Markquese Bell. Oh, my bad. Messed that cut up. But right here, you're going to see him in the back. He's at the very top of your stream. All you see is his feet. You're going to see his ability to play in coverage too. You're going to see him read the quarterback, flip his hips where he sees him going, and he's gonna use his athleticism to get to the ball. I would like to see him make that interception, but he makes the play on the ball right there. And so that's some of the biggest thing for Markquese Bell is his tackling and aggressiveness. That's his big strengths. His tackling, his ball skills, his pursuit, blitz schemes, his length, all these things are the top strengths for Markquese Bell. But to break them down more in depth, the versatility aspect of his game is important because he can be that single high safety and play that deep third if you need him to. We saw he led the MEAC in interceptions in 2019. This year was more of a tackler for FAMU, coming down into the box and playing that box safety. And it was probably because they brought in Antoine Collier and he really took that deep third role for Florida A&M. But his versatility to play in the box and that deep safety spot is something that I think a lot of NFL teams are really going to like. I already mentioned his tackling. That's the number one thing with safeties. You usually get safeties who run or DBs that run from the ball, run from those tackling moments. Markquese Bell is opposite. He looks for those. He looks for the big play. He's going to make the open field tackle most of the time. I mentioned his ball skills leading the MEAC in interceptions. This year, I would call it more ball tracking this year. He's always in a position to make a play. I like to see him turn them into more interceptions, but he had a lot of pass breakups. He put himself in position because his ball pursuit, his eye for the football is very high when it's in the air. His pursuit just in terms of following the ball carrier and putting himself in position. He tracks the runner or the ball carrier very well, and that's a big strength for Markquese Bell. And his ability to excel in blitz schemes is going to make him an interesting piece. When teams want to be aggressive, they're going to need a Markquese Bell on the field to go get the football. A lot of DBs get caught up in just the chaos that is the offensive line, that is what's going on at the line of scrimmage. Markquese Bell has the ability to use his athleticism and length to get through all that. And when he's free in the backfield and it's him and the quarterback or him and the running back, Markquese Bell is going to make a play. And his length, his arms are very long. He's a tall, lanky guy. That length and coverage is going to play to his advantage because he's going to be able to make plays on footballs that might be out of reach for smaller or shorter DBs. Now, for things he needs to improve on, which every prospect has a little bit of these, his aggressiveness can be used against him at times. Because he's so focused on the ball in the backfield and has his eyes in the backfield, play action, RPOs, things like that can really get Markquese Bell in trouble at times. And you're gonna and good quarterbacks and good offensive coordinators are gonna know this and be able to use that against him. So really balancing out the aggressiveness when it comes to being a part of the run game and not being too aggressive in play action situations is really going to be key for Markquese Bell. That's been the number one critique by a lot of different scouting reports and scouts that I've looked at and read is that he is way too aggressive on play actions and keeps his eyes in the backfield too long, which goes into the next thing, eye discipline. When he guesses right and his eyes are just happens to be in the right place, the guy can is almost unstoppable. But when his eyes are in the wrong place, that eye discipline lacks, he's prone to give up big plays at times. And wide receivers, especially fast ones that can close that space very quickly, can get some big plays behind him. And so eye discipline is something at the next level that you're going to want to see Markquese Bell develop just a little bit. And then also, not to be too nitpicky or anything, but Markquese Bell would also benefit from a bit more weight on his frame. He is tall, he's long, and his length is an advantage in coverage. But because of how his play style and how aggressive he is, and how often he's in the box and wants to make big plays and be it and just be in the play and make those outstanding tackles, being 6'2", only like 212, 210, you wonder about his durability potentially. So you would like to see him get up to maybe 220, 225, keep that athleticism, and just be a little bit bigger and more durable. So I think just a little bit more weight on his frame to fill out that tall, lanky frame would really be a great addition for Markquese Bell. But ultimately, you're getting a guy who can be your box safety, can be your deep third safety, and also a guy who's going to make a lot of tackles. He's going to be a guy that is going to get you 5, 10, maybe more tackles a game. And he's just a playmaker, man. That's one of his other big positives is this guy's just a playmaker and he's a leader too. When you watch the film, he's always making sure people are in position. He has a great understanding of the game. And so I think Markquese Bell is going to hear his name called probably day 2 of the NFL draft. When I look at the projections, I think high end for Markquese Bell is probably 3rd round, low end is early 5th. But I think somewhere around that middle to late 3rd, early 4th round is probably where you're going to hear Markquese Bell's name called. He's got the accolades, he's got the film, he's got the size, he's got the talent. I think any team is going to be real lucky if they get Markquese Bell on their roster come April. But guys, comment below what you think of Markquese Bell's film, what his draft potential is, what teams you would like to see him fit on, and let me know overall what you think about this series. What do y'all want to see more of? What do y'all want to see less of? And give me some feedback in the comments as well. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it. But until next time, guys, the Blue Bloods are out.